What's up, everybody? It's DJ Another Slice, bringing to you points of intervention, direct action tips for lefty. First thing we have to understand is what direct action is. So first, let's understand what it's not. It's not direct service work. What is direct service work? Let's look at that. My Versace is so comfortable right now. So direct service work is like if you go volunteer at a soup kitchen or you go clean up trash at the beach. That's all nice and good because kindness is good. But direct service work accepts existing power relationships. When slavery of Africans was legal, direct service work would be providing therapy on the plantations instead of abolishing slavery. We're going to skip over all the other ones and go directly into direct action now, and specifically the 5 points of intervention.
1. Point of production. 2. Point of destruction. 3. Point of consumption. 4. Point of decision. 5. Point of assumption.
Actually, before I get into this, I'm just going to show some protest porn pictures of uses of direct action or general disruption, civil disobedience type stuff that gives you that awesome protest porn so many people on the interwebs like to look at. So what is this stuff? Why do people block freeways and lock themselves with things and all that kind of stuff? Like, why don't they just get a job? Why don't they just volunteer at a soup kitchen? Well, we're going to talk about that. But first, you should probably think about it for a second. Do people just end up in these photos? Do they just wake up one day and say, I'm going to go find a random group of people to lock arms with, chain myself to something, or shut down a freeway when I could get killed or I could get arrested? No. First, people do a very involved set of analysis of the problems they're looking at, and they strategize, and they use these points of interventions to consider what they should or shouldn't do before they execute. So, here we go, back into my DJ voice. It's getting heated in this club, so now we're going to talk about point 1, point of production. Action at the point of production is the foundational insight of the labor movement. Workers organize to target the economic system where it directly affects them and where that system is most vulnerable. Strikes, picket lines, work slowdowns, and factory takeovers are all point of production actions. Point number 2, point of destruction. A point of destruction is the place where harm or injustice is actually occurring. It could be the place where resources are being extracted, such as a strip mine, or the place where the waste from the point of production is dumped, like a landfill. By design, the point of destruction is almost always far from public attention, made invisible by remoteness, oppressive assumptions, or ignorance, and tends to be disproportionately impacting already marginalized communities. Whew, it's getting hot in here. Intervention at the point of destruction can halt an act of destruction in the moment, as well as dramatize the larger conflict. Moving on to point 3, the point of consumption. The point of consumption is the location of interaction with a product or service that is linked to injustice. Point of consumption actions are the traditional arena of consumer boycotts and storefront demonstrations. The point of consumption is often the most visible point of intervention for actions targeting commercial entities. Point of consumption actions can also be a good way to get the attention of corporations when lawmakers aren't listening. Point 4, point of decision. The point of decision, where the power to act on a campaign's demands rests, is often the most self-evident point of intervention, and therefore one of the most frequently targeted. Whether it's a slumlord's office, a corporate boardroom or state capitol, or an international summit meeting, many successful campaigns have used some form of action at the point of decision to put pressure on key decision makers. And finally, point number 5, point of assumption. Assumptions are the building blocks of ideology, the DNA of political belief systems. They operate best when they remain unexamined. If basic assumptions can be exposed as contrary to people's lived experience or core values, entire belief systems can be shifted. Turn it up. Actions that expose and target widely held assumptions can therefore be very effective at shifting the discourse around an issue and opening up new political space. Point of assumption. Actions can take many different forms, such as exposing hypocrisy, reframing the issue, amplifying the voices of previously silenced characters in the story, or offering an alternative vision.
Remember to like and subscribe and to like and subscribe.